Hello, YouTube. So this is probably gonna be my final video on Torchlight for a while because I will be moving over to PoE and playing the new PoE League. Expect content to come out for that soon. That being said, though, I have way more plans for Torchlight this league. I'm very excited for the things I'm gonna do in this league still. In the future, I'm gonna make a cheap, profound Bing 2 guide. Specifically, I'm gonna do a lot of testing to figure out how to get Bing 2 into Profound on a very low day 1, day 2 budget. Specifically league sort testing for myself. And I intend to do another setup on Bing 2 this season using the new Verdant Steps boots, but I'll get to that a bit later in the video. So this is my final setup. This setup is very simple. I got an Eternity, and while having Eternity, I wanted to have 90 max res. Okay? So the main thing that we did to do that is we unfortunately did have to drop we had to drop the Kismet Erosion. So we still have the Kismet Fire Plume, but now instead of Erosion, we have Star Trails. And because we're running 3 Star Trails, that allows us to get, for each of these erosion points of erosion, to give 4.7% max erosion instead of 2%. Which means just from this alone, this is 6 times 2 times 2.35, we're getting 28% max erosion res. And that plus 1 Euro memory is putting us at 32%, so we have enough erosion res. That's the first thing. The second thing is, I have the Kismet Butterfly and Bottle to get immune to Trauma, Wilt, and Ignite. And then for my Euro memories, I have a Curse Effect Euro memory and a Curse Effect Euro memory. Oh, sorry, a Curse Effect Euro memory. These two combined is 102% minus Curse Effect, which makes us curse immune. So we are immune to Trauma, Wilt. We are immune to elements because I have element immunity on my chest. 64% on chest, element immunity. I have 20% here on this Fallen Starlight. And I have 20% here to reach 100%. And we are immune to all CCs, like paralysis, slow, taunt, blinding, all those things, because we got that corrode on our Eternity. Now, if you didn't have this corrode, what you could do is you could just go for you could basically Kismet on instead of movement speed, after double movement speed, you would have 1 for slow and 1 for weaken. Or paralyze, sorry. 1 for slow, 1 for paralyze. And because we have so many Star Trials, they would both be at 100% effectiveness, and you just drop the movement speed. Which, looking at this in hindsight, it is weird that I put the movement speed here instead of here. So I'm gonna fix that and change that. The reason I did it, I know why. It's for it's for when I swapped to a different. It was for a bossing setup, but since I'm not playing full mapping, I should Kismet over these areas because it does nothing for me. And then other than that, I just have, a bunch of erosion reses. I have 5 erosion res, which gives me 35%. And if you actually calculate all of my erosion res together, including the 4% from this Fallen Starlight, as well as the, this all Mina talents give 1 erosion res, it comes out to exactly 301% erosion res, which puts us at exactly just above 90% res for, capped 90 erosion res. We're still playing the same Tainted Flesh setup. And yeah, we basically just upgraded some stuff. We got a +2 max erosion res Euro memory. This is really nice to get, because obviously +2 means more movement speed, and we love movement speed. We can now play Eternity, which is really, really strong. I've been leveling up in Deep Space. I'm running all Deep Space modes, and I'm leveling up in Deep Space currently with the setup. It's going slow because we don't use any XP pads, but we're still just leveling in Deep Space. We're getting 20-30% every day. The only mod in Deep Space that really kills me is the soul tracking one, and I just roll over those because that one's just absolutely awful. I still don't have Control Spell on my wand. Control Spell is better than the additional hit damage for Spell Burst. I don't know how much FP I've thrown at this. It's just not hitting, and I can't keep trying because I'm now saving up for my next build. But otherwise, I think everything here looks really good and stuff. So let me quickly tell you about the next plan, like the plan moving forward, because this build is already kind of perfect. Like, there's not much more to do. I'm immune to everything in the game. Oh, also, sorry, crit immunity. I forgot to mention that. So I do have crit damage mitigation here, 69%. And I think it is worth it to also get it on the boots to be at 100% crit immune. The reason why I haven't yet is because I intend to get crit immune on my new build. But realistically, until then, I should just do it on this one. I just think I had a really good divine here, and I want to sell it as such. Because the new build that we're planning is going to be Verdant Steps. So, to give you the rundown on what Verdant Steps essentially is it's an obscenely rare item, 140 KFE. And what it does is it gives you either elemental element immunity or wilt and trauma immune. And the one that we want to buy is wilt and trauma immune, because we obviously have element immunity from the CC immune on our belt. And we can get ignite immune from a slate and numb immune from our talent tree. Realistically, both work, elemental element or wilt and trauma immune. So, because I can just get wilt and trauma from a slate as well. So I'll figure that out in the future. But what this item does is it has this line. Origin of Ice. Now this isn't necessarily ice. This can be ice, fire, or thunder. Gains an additional effect. Converts 30% of non-cold damage taken to cold damage. So what this does is, Tainted Flesh converts all your damage taken. And you have to get 90 max res plus 300% erosion res. These boots essentially do the exact same thing as Tainted Flesh. But instead of taking up so much erosion res, as well as an entire prism slot, you get this just on one pair of boots, and that's it. While at the same time, also getting Molten Trauma immune, or Element immune, as well as gaining this, gains an additional, Origin of Thunder gets an additional effect, 6% additional lightning damage for your minions, as well as getting some movement speed. Now, the plan with these boots are simple. I'm gonna equip them, and I need to get to 734% Magus effect. And then I need to get to 90 max res. Now, just reaching 734% max is going to give me, 16% max res, because there's a support you can equip on Kismets. So, let's say that we had this pair, right? 30% convert. We can equip on our, Frost Magus this. Gains an additional effect, 2% max cold res. And with all of Magus effect, this is going to scale up to 16% max res. Then we just need to get the last 14% from, various things. We can get it through Euro memories, we can get it through micros, etc. But on top of that, if we get enough max res, which all the calculations for the max res that I need is literally here. This is exactly how we're going to get to enough. This entire thing gets us to a total of 767%, which is very, very powerful. Then, with all of that in mind, we're going to end up with 100% of our conversion because, okay, just to explain how this works, Origin of Ice gains an additional effect. All of these additional effects get scaled up by Magus effect. So this isn't 13%, this is going to be 13 times 8.6 because we have 760%. We're converting 111% damage, so everything's converted. Instead of 6% damage we're gaining, we're actually gaining 52% additional. And this 12 movement speed, we're going to have 5 major out. So this is going to be 60% movement speed and immunity. Do we need this? Is it worth it? No, it isn't. There's really no reason. Like, my build's good enough. I just craft crit immune on the boots and, you know, I'm immune to everything. I can do deep space. I'm leveling in deep space. Just fine doing, like, extremely hard content. I have infinite damage. But I want to do it. And sometimes in life, wanting to do something is a good enough reason. I like playing Bing too. So that's the next setup that we're going for. So watch out for that in the future. I'll definitely make a video on it. I'm probably going to take like 2 weeks off or so for PoE, maybe a bit less. I do intend to come back to this game for the hardcore event that starts like on the 11th. But after all, we are a brat. We deserve the boots. Exactly. I deserve the boots. So I will farm those boots out eventually. I'm up to like over 50k FE right now already. And the prices on these do fluctuate a lot. Like, you know, I've seen them up for as low as like 60k. I don't know if we'll get lucky to find it that point, but like 100k seems doable to me. Or like seems reasonable for a snipe. And once all that is said and done, I've been very interested in doing a lot of testing for Bing 2 to find cheap ways to get to Profound. And when I say cheap ways to get to Profound, I don't mean like, you know, making a late league budget build to Profound. I'm talking about figuring a setup out that on League Store, day one of the league, gets to Profound. Figuring out like what goes the best for that. And it's, ideally, it would also be a build that doesn't rely on uniques because, you know, uniques are very volatile. A unique can in one league be 2 FE and the next league be 1000 FE. And it's very hard to like rely on it. But that being said, even if you need some uniques, like this league, Ezreal's Law, day one was less than 400 FE. Like you could have bought this day one for 400 FE. Okay, what are these prices? But yeah, day one of the league, you could buy Ezreal's Law for like 400 FE. And like I had enough money to do that, for example. So I'm okay with some uniques in the build. But I want to try and make a very budget cheap setup that people can follow and like basically get through the hardest part of Bing 2. Because the hardest part about Bing 2 is the early game and the mid game. Once you get her set up and running, it feels like an absolute monster that just like blasts through maps. But most people, myself included, just had such a like rough time in the early game. Where like it just felt like the character was underpowered, even though the character isn't underpowered. Because spells in general are not like in a great state right now. But like I'm sure there's some setup that you can spell burst that is going to feel good and strong. Like I don't think every spell in the game is just complete ass, right? There has to be some that are like decent enough that, you know, can make use of the fact that Bing 2 has like a lot of multipliers in her year trade. But yeah, that's gonna be it from me, YouTube. I hope you guys all have a lovely, lovely day further. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and do all those glorious and beautiful things. And I hope you guys are ready for some PoE content to come out. I'm gonna be exploring Elementalist Wander, most likely. I have some interesting build ideas, like maybe doing a Cultist BV offering build, late game. That I think could be really, really good with like the new Lycia, not Lycia, with the new Katarina Ascendancy that came out. It seems absolutely broken. And the new Lycia Ascendancy also seems just completely busted. But I hope you guys have a lovely day and look forward to that. Bye, YouTube! Bye-bye! Bye, YouTube! Do we add the loot explosion for YouTube? I think YouTube deserves the loot explosion. Live on TV, loot explosion. Oh no, YouTube gets to see the average explosion size. Not everything is the shorts explosion. Bye, YouTube.